Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and today we have a very exciting episode because we're going to help you prepare for something very important in life, a job interview.
That's right, Sarah. Job interviews can be stressful, especially if English isn't your first language. But don't worry, we're here to make it easier for you. By the end of this episode, you'll know useful phrases, common interview questions, and how to answer them confidently.
Exactly. We'll start by talking about why interviews are so challenging, then we'll go through the most common questions practice with real examples, and even do a short role-play interview.
And the best part is, you don't just listen. You can also practice along with us. We'll give you time to think of your own answers, so it feels like you're sitting in an actual interview.
So, whether you're preparing for your first job, applying for a promotion, or just want to improve your professional English, this episode will give you the tools to sound more natural and confident.
Let's get started.
Before we jump into interview questions, let's talk a little about our own experiences. Bill, do you remember your very first job interview?
Oh, yes, I remember it clearly. I was so nervous that I kept repeating the same words again and again. The interviewer asked me, "Why do you want this job?" And I said, because 3 times before I could finish my answer.
That's so relatable. I think almost everyone feels nervous in their first interview. My first one was at a small bookstore. I remember they asked me, "What's your biggest weakness?" And I panicked. I said chocolate.
That's actually a pretty good answer. At least it showed you had a sense of humor. But it also shows something important. Interviews are not just about your skills, but also about your confidence and personality.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this episode, because practicing interviews in English can really help you feel calmer and more prepared.
Yes, once you practice the common questions, the fear starts to go away. Then the interview becomes more like a conversation, which is exactly what we want our listeners to practice today.
Well said. Okay, let's move into the real learning part, the most common interview questions and how to answer them. All right, let's get into the heart of today's episode, the most common job interview questions. I'll ask the questions like an interviewer, and Bill, you'll answer as if you are the candidate. Then we'll break down the vocabulary and phrases for our listeners. Ready?
Ready, let's go.
So, Bill, can you tell me a little about yourself?
Sure. My name is Bill, and I have 5 years of experience in customer service. I enjoy working with people, solving problems, and helping customers feel satisfied. In my previous job, I managed a small team, and I learned how to stay calm under pressure. I'm excited about this opportunity because I want to continue growing in this field.
That was a great answer, Bill. Did you notice, listeners, he didn't just say his name. He included his experience, skills, and motivation.
Exactly. A good tip is to keep your answer short, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and focus on your strengths, not your life story.
Why do you want to work at this company?
I've always admired this company's reputation for innovation and excellent customer service. I believe my skills in communication and problem-solving match well with the team's goals. I want to be part of a company where I can contribute and also continue to learn and grow.
Nice. That's professional and positive. Notice how Bill connected his skills to the company's values.
Yes, listeners avoid saying, "because I need money." Even if it's true, interviewers want to hear that you're motivated by the company and the job role.
What would you say are your greatest strengths and weaknesses?
One of my strengths is communication. I enjoy listening to people and explaining ideas clearly. I'm also very organized, so I can manage multiple tasks at once. As for a weakness, I sometimes focus too much on details, which can slow me down. But I'm working on balancing speed with accuracy.
That's a smart way to answer. Notice, listeners, he mentioned a real weakness, but then showed he's improving.
Yes, never say, I have no weaknesses. Everyone has weaknesses. Just choose one that isn't too damaging and show how you're working on it.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself taking on more responsibility, possibly in a leadership role. I'd like to grow within the company, continue improving my skills, and contribute to bigger projects.
That's a confident answer. Employers like to hear that you plan to stay with the company and develop over time.
Yes, but avoid being too specific, like, I want your job. Focus on growth, learning, and commitment.
Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I do. Could you tell me more about the training and development opportunities here? And I'd also like to know what the next steps in the hiring process will be.
Perfect. Always prepare a question for the interviewer. It shows that you are interested and serious.
Exactly. Avoid saying, no, I don't have any questions. Instead, ask about training, the team, or the company's goals.
So those are 5 of the most common interview questions. If you practice these, you'll already feel more prepared and confident.
And remember, listeners, don't just memorize. Practice saying the answers in your own words, so it sounds natural.
Good morning, Bill. Thank you for coming in today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Let's start with a simple question. Can you tell me a little about yourself?
Of course. My name is Bill, and I have several years of experience working in customer service and sales. I really enjoy helping people, solving problems, and building strong relationships with clients. In my last position, I managed a small team, which helped me develop leadership and communication skills. I'm looking forward to continuing to grow in this field.
That sounds great. Why do you want to work at our company?
I've always admired this company for its innovative approach and its commitment to customer satisfaction. I feel my background in communication and teamwork matches your goals. I also see opportunities here to learn new skills and contribute to the company's success.
Thank you. What would you say are your strengths and weaknesses?
One of my strengths is that I'm very organized. I like to plan my tasks and make sure everything is completed on time. I'm also good at listening to people and understanding their needs. For weaknesses, I sometimes focus too much on details, but I'm learning how to balance accuracy with efficiency.
Good answer. Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself taking on more responsibility, perhaps leading a team, and continuing to contribute to projects that have a positive impact. I'd like to grow with this company and develop both personally and professionally.
Excellent. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I'd like to know more about the training opportunities your company provides for new employees. And also, could you tell me about the next steps in the hiring process?
Those are great questions. Thank you, Bill. That concludes our interview.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, listeners. That was our mini interview. Did you notice how Bill kept his answers clear, professional, and positive?
Yes, and I also used phrases like, I've always admired this company, and I'd like to grow with this company. These are polite, professional ways to show interest.
Exactly. And remember, your answers don't have to be perfect. What matters is that you stay calm, speak clearly, and connect your skills to the job.
And one more thing, always end by asking questions. It shows that you are serious about the job.
Great advice. Okay, now let's move on to some tips for success in job interviews. Now that we've gone through some practice questions, let's give our listeners a few quick tips to succeed in a real interview.
Tip number 1. Body language matters. Sit up straight, smile politely, and make eye contact. Even if your English isn't perfect, good body language shows confidence.
Tip number 2. Speak clearly and at a steady pace. Don't rush. It's better to pause for a second and think than to speak too fast and get nervous.
Tip number 3. Prepare in advance. Write down answers to common questions, practice saying them out loud, and maybe even record yourself. That way, you'll feel more confident on the actual day.
And tip number 4, use polite professional expressions. For example, say I'd be happy to instead of just I can. Small changes like that make your English sound more professional.
Yes, and remember, interviewers don't expect you to be perfect. They want to see your personality, your motivation, and your willingness to learn.
Exactly. If you prepare and practice, you'll already be one step ahead. Okay, listeners, now it's your turn. We'll ask you a few interview questions, and you'll have a moment to think of your answer. Don't worry, we'll guide you.
Here's the first question. Can you tell me about yourself? Great. Now, remember to include your experience, skills, and motivation.
Next question. Why do you want to work here? Try to connect your answer to the company's values or goals.
And one more. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Good job. Always show how you're improving your weakness.
Well done, listeners. Practicing out loud is the best way to prepare for a real interview. All right, that brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope this practice helped you feel more confident about job interviews in English.
Yes, remember, interviews are not just about answering questions, they're about showing your confidence, your skills, and your motivation.
So keep practicing. Try answering these questions with a friend, or record yourself and listen back. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel.
And don't forget to stay positive. Even if your English isn't perfect, your attitude and preparation can make a big difference.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the English Learning Podcast. We'll be back with more useful lessons and conversations soon. Until then, good luck with your interviews and keep practicing English every day.